This particular novel is very literary and kind of interior. Like there's the action is kind of buried in a lot of digressions of her thinking about the process of writing, her thinking about her life.
It's all in the voice and the head of one narrator.
So just kind of pulling the story out of that and kind of finding ways to dramatize things that were really ideas kind of in her story. That was, it's not an obvious adaptation, I think, just because it is so interior.
The conceit of the story is just magnificent, that she's tackling grief as well as the inconvenience of this gigantic beast of an animal. That's how she sees him in the beginning, is that he's just there to turn her life upside down. And she has, a job to attend to, her grief to attend to. She has her apartment that she's had for decades and decades, and her father even before that. So she's the least likely candidate to be able to look after this animal. So it's kind of a wonderful juxtaposition of, her dealing with her anger and her grief at the same time, and then slowly falling in love with this animal who helps her kind of reinvent her life in a way. Well, the famous rule of, it's like, be careful of working with animals and children because everything is more timely, more costly, and but yet, dogs will melt you. And this one will break your heart in pieces. He was searched for nationwide, and it was a lengthy search. And in fact, Bill Berloni, who is the film trainer, he trains for film and TV as well as Broadway, so you can imagine the precision that he's looking for, was not sure that it was achievable with a Great Dane. He said, can't you do this with another dog, right?
Yeah, we showed him the cover of the book, so we couldn't do it with another dog.
Yeah.
His line was that Great Danes are lazy and not the smartest of breeds. So
and then we met Bing,
Then
and he
we
changed his
found
tune.
Bing, who is well trained already. That challenge that we thought would be there sometimes presented itself, in little things, little ways, but then other times we would get far greater than what was there on the page. No offense, guys. But, because beautiful accidents can occur, and we just had to create an unbelievable level of trust between us all, between the trainers, and he had more than one. He had much bigger entourage than me. Because, we're crossing roads in New York City in peak hour, and everybody wants to come up and pat and and ah and ooh, wow, like I always say, it's like a rock star, and so he could get spooked easily. So you had to have someone across the road and someone watching out for other dogs that may, interfere or disrupt. So those were some of the challenges, but then we just had a multitude of moments that we couldn't believe we were getting.
And we kind of couldn't believe just how good-natured he is. I mean, he really was like, never was there an issue with wanting to do the work or being there or...
Well, the one issue was he's such a good boy, kind of. He doesn't want to do the wrong thing. So if you tell him he's done something wrong, or if you tell him to do something,
couch,
he wants to do it. And sometimes the script would call for him to kind of resist, like, good behavior. And that was the one challenge for him. Like, when Naomi had to scold him, we had to keep him off set so that he didn't hear her angry voice.
Yeah.
Well, when we spoke to Naomi for the first time about the project, she asked us who we were thinking about to play Walter. And the first person that we had thought of and the person that we could sort of only imagine playing it was Bill. And she was like, oh, he would be so fantastic, but don't tell me you're asking me to call Bill, because of their previous relationship. And we said, oh, no, of course not. We'll find a way. We just want to make sure we're on the same page creatively. But we hung up, and Naomi immediately reached out to Bill.
I instantly, it was an aha moment when they said that. I was like, oh, yes, the soulful, eyes of Bill Murray, the gentleness, and I couldn't see the story play out any other way from that point forward. And I wasn't sure how it would go down. I reached out to him, and he responded right away. But he doesn't read digital scripts. You have to, and he moves around a lot. So I had to find him with a printed script. And he not only read it right away, he read the book, and he loved it. And
yeah, right. It was really gratifying because he really was into it and was very involved in giving us notes on not just his part, but everybody's part.
He fixed every joke.
He fixed every joke.
I mean, the plot revolves around a rent-controlled apartment that's, ridiculously small for containing a dog like Apollo, his character. So that part of it, it's hard to find that real estate problem anywhere but New York.
And an area of New York near Washington Square that is, extremely pricey.
But we really wanted to make a New York movie. I mean, we live in New York, we love New York, and we love New York movies, just the kind of feel of those kind of big, like warm New York movies. So that was a real goal of ours, to kind of really capture that spirit of a New York film.
So making New York come alive, both visually and, with the sound and the music and everything. I mean, Scott was talking about it recently as, we share our lives with other people and animals, and when we leave those people, pieces of them, of the animals, kind of stay with us, and we take that with us as we go through life, and it helps us think about our lives and re-examine our lives and sort of grow as people and creatures. So that's some of what we found in the book, and some of what we hope gets conveyed or felt by the audience.